Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to yet another week. We're still here going strong of the D&D show. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, all right.
Good.
All right.
Good. I think I've, as usual, shitting a brick. I don't know why this gets me going so much, but it always does. So we'll see how we get on tonight. Cool. All right then. So we've got the usual crowd with us. As always, I am the host, a co-host, and your GM for this adventure. My name is Luke. We are the D&D show, as I said, and we are currently playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's in the name, really, isn't it? Making our way through the starter adventure set, The Lost Mine of Vandelver. With me tonight, as always, I'm joined with the usual crowd. We have got Mr. Gavin Bourne. Beer's got to my head. Gavin Bourne, who plays Burr, the dwarven swashbuckler. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just relishing the last week off of work before I go back next week.
I think earlier on when we were kind of running tests and stuff and you dropped out while you were sorting out your camera, we were talking about what's going to happen when people go back to work. Do you think you're going to be all right next week?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Good.
Yeah, I'll be fine. No worries. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Can you remember how to do it?
ride to work on my motorbike asleep after we go on till midnight.
Well, I mean, we were almost on time today. So if we can get a little bit earlier, then hopefully we can finish a little bit earlier as well.
That'll be right.
Next up, we've got James Bly playing Just Escapes, the human paladin. How are we today?
Yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to bashing some skulls.
Brilliant. Bringing the justice, collecting those taxes.
Shoes.
Lisa Houghton, Millicent, the health and bar.
It's a good IPA, isn't it?
That's a really good IPA.
Half Elven Bard is a good IPA. It's nice. Yeah, mango IPA. It's all right. How strong is this? I need to slow down. One pant, whatever that means. I don't know. It's one pant. 5.6. That's actually quite strong.
It doesn't say pints.
No, it's only a little tiny. It's like the little tiny kind of American size cans. Yeah, 5.6 though, and I'm a lightweight, so I only drink on a Tuesday, so it always goes to my head. How are we, Lisa? How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. As I said, always filled with nerves. Feeling better. Was a bit rough this morning. Couple of rough nights sleep and a bit of a dodgy stomach today, but we're all right tonight. The alcohol will certainly help with that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Nothing like an IPA to settle the old belly, innit?
This is it. So yeah, we should be all right. But if I have to pause the game to run to the loo, I do apologise in advance. And then that was the beautiful dulcet tones of Sean Lee.
I'll take that.
Gnome druid Pock with his duck.
Hello.
With his duck. Have you got a name for the duck? Have I asked you this before? Is it just
It's
duck?
duck.
Just duck.
Yeah,
the
it's
duck.
just duck. Duck the duck.
Good. You all right?
Yeah, well, good. I've been outdoors today. I haven't been outdoors for what feels like forever.
Yeah.
So I've had a nice little top up of vitamin D, dust the old cobwebs off. Yeah, no, I'm all right.
Lovely.
It's been nice to see what outside looks like.
Yeah, well, we've been getting out quite regularly, going for walks and stuff, especially since we got the dog, going on for walks. So I went to that's a lie. I was about to say I went to my first supermarket. I've nipped to Asda a couple of times throughout the lockdown, but I did my first proper shop with the wife today. Went to Aldi, and it was bloody horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah,
Shopping always is horrible.
it's just everyone's. It's just so scary now. No one seems to care anymore. And you literally have to just dive out the way of people. It's insane.
That is really what it's like. Certainly in Aldi. My wife's been doing all the shopping throughout. Like, she's just been nipping off on her own and going shopping. But unfortunately, she's not allowed to drive at the moment. She's just had to store in her car. So the past week or so, I've been taking her and just sitting in the car outside with the kids while she goes in and does it. But today was just like, sod it. Everyone else is relaxed, let's go in. But it was horrible, absolutely horrible. And it's people just getting right up in your business, man. Like, it's just, oh well.
Shopping's never fun anyway.
Yeah, if you
No, exactly.
No, that is it as well. But I mean, if you believe the hype, then it's all the not the hype, the conspiracy theorists. It's all out of bollocks anyway. So, and for
Obviously.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Because then if it's all right now, then they've got more ammo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope it is all right, though, but I mean, I do hope it's okay. I want life to go back to normal, and enough people have died. But that is the thing is that people have died, and it's not just people saying, oh, more people die of the flu. Well, no, like the figures state excess deaths. That means that there are like 50,000 people who have died more than normal, on average. So there's no denying those facts. So anybody out there who believes that conspiracy theory can piss off. Unlike the conspiracy theorists who believe that 9/11 was an inside job. You guys are bang on the money.
I mean, that's its own podcast.
I'm sure it's been done.
Where he weighs up conspiracy.
Yeah, that one and the other one.
Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, and 9/11.
Dogs can look up.
First episode.
Dogs can look up, man. They look up. No, the one I like. Have you heard the one? It was quite old now, so you probably have. You heard the one about fucking hell? What's her name? Avril Lavigne. You hear that one?
Oh yeah, they replaced her.
Yeah, that she died, and then her body double took over and stuff. Yeah,
of course.
That's
just like
same with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, my wife's saying, that was true. Anyway, enough about that. That's a different podcast, which has probably been done.
Almost definitely.
Tory wankers. Are we going to go over it again?
No conspiracy there. They're all just wankers.
They are. I was seething this morning. I had a bit of a to-do with some guy on Facebook this morning, and in the end I was just like, just fuck off, literally. Just fuck off. And I had to turn off my notifications because I was like literally about to have an embolism.
I'm still going on my
it's just all this, and it's all this stuff that's mainly going on in America, it's going on in England, and it is the whole Black Lives Matter thing. You know what, like, again, just fuck off. Just fuck off. Stop trying to justify your racism. All this fucking White Lives Matter stuff and All Lives Matter. Fuck off. Just fuck off. All right.
Isn't it weird? It's all gone a bit quiet now. The football's back on. Funny that, isn't it?
Well, that's what started it.
There's no one protecting statues anymore.
There was a
West Ham are on, so
some football match last night where some twat hired a plane to fly over with a big old sign saying White Lives Matter, and that's what it was all about today. And he was like, "Well, give me some facts. I want concrete facts that prove that White Lives isn't a racist slogan, and that." That there is such thing as systemic racism, institutional racism. And I was like, you're having a fucking laugh. It's not my job to give you that. And if you can't be bothered to go online and research it your fucking self, then you're just an ignorant fucking tosser, you racist pig. Piss the fuck off. Oh, mate.
Let's play some DnD.
So let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. We probably just lost.
Are there any racists in the forest that we can kill? Is that all right?
Yeah. Well,
make sure all of the goblinoids and whatever are
they're all carrying like English Defence League badges and shit.
We can just label them racist, even if they're not. They're
just
fine.
Flavour.
So we've got some people in the chat as always. So let's just say hello to the crew. We have got. Sycon sent hello. He's not sure if he's going to make the whole night. He's having some PC problems. Hello, Sycon sent. Hello, Flack38. Hello, Lecky Macon, our fan from Denmark. Pleasure to see you again. Lucaroo, hello. Dasbray303, and that's Peter, yeah?
Yay.
Yeah, hello, Peter. Gavlar. So Gav, you're in the chat. Hello, Gav.
I'm in the chat, yeah.
We've got Fires of Athaline. Now, these guys I've been chatting to on Twitch, not Twitch, on Twitter. Seem like really good guys. From the UK, down, I want to say in... Nope, I've lost it. Near Somerset, but not Somerset. There's a big city down there. That I can't think what the hell it's called. Begins with a
Devon?
B. No,
Bristol,
I think. Yeah, that's the one. Really nice guy. Or a group of guys.
Lover.
And they have got their own stream and podcast that has just launched this week, I think. So check them out. Fires of Athaline. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they've basically developed their own system to play with as well. It seems really interesting. They started off modeling it on 5e, but from there they basically stripped it back, added in more customer optimization, added in more changed the magic system. They've changed the way that combat works. They've made it a little bit more deadly with more kind of locational hits and stuff like that. And they said that I was chatting to them, and there's a roleplay system I used to love when I was a kid called Rollmaster, and they did an offshoot of that called MERP, Middle Earth Role Playing, where the combat was deadly, and when you attacked, you would get critical hits, but it wasn't based on a natural roll of 20. It was just based on how good you were, and so you could end up killing people with one hit if you rolled well enough. And they you would roll a D100 to see where you are. It was a fantastic system, really complicated, and they said they actually. That's my dog. And they said they've used that for some inspiration. So it sounds like a fantastic system that I really want to know more about. So as soon as that podcast drops, I'm going to be all over that. Moving on, Jam Boink. He's been here before. He says finally managed to make it. He's missed the past 2 weeks because he was no lifing playing Valorant. Managed to give it a break for tonight to watch. So thank you very much, Jam Boink. It's good to see you back. And then Fires of Athlene says nice presentation. So cool. That was all designed by Sean, Mr. Pock. So if you like what you see and you want maybe something designed for yourself, and Sean's your man, hit him up.
Give me work, please.
Yeah, hit him up on Twitter, or more likely you prefer Instagram, which is on the screen, at Sean F. Lee, if you want any graphic work or anything done. You're also a videographer. You do photography and videos and weddings and sound engineering and stuff as well. You do stage shows and a lot of event work on the tech side of things. But lots of video bits, graphic design. Cool.
If you ever need a backup photographer at weddings, by the way, Sean,
do you done?
I have done, yes, in the past.
Oh, excellent. Oh, sweet. Yeah, definitely.
If you ever need number 2, give me a shout.
Maybe if we ever get to the point of doing a Patreon, we can make that one of the stretch goals of
your wedding.
If you want to give us £100 a month, and then you can have a free photo shoot or something. So, and then Dazbray, so Pete says this intro went places. Yeah, it always does. And that's about it. Fires of Athlene says thanks for the shout out. Looking forward to the show. And did someone say dragon?
Bum, bum, bum.
Bomb, bomb, bomb. How about that for an intro? There we go. They did. Somebody did say dragon. So who's going to roll the D20 tonight? Who is going to go first and give us the catch up for all the people at home?
Ooh, I rolled a 6.
I'm going to roll the one that I've not been rolling well on.
17.
18.
Yeah.
15.
Sean.
Is that you then, Pock?
Right. I've not organised my notes, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
How far back we going?
Well, I mean, kind of paraphrase the general story for any new listeners, and then just give us what everyone wants about what happened last week and this dragon.
Give us a chronicle.
Right. Be ready to be paraphrased like you've never been paraphrased before. So at some point, I don't even know where to start. I bumped into some guys who were in a cave, and they were delivering some stuff to Phandalin on behalf of a fella called Gundren. Gundren got kidnapped by some goblins, and we lost him and someone else. So anyway, fast forward, we're in Phandalin, right? And Phandalin is full of these things called red brands, and we're still looking for Gundren. We get asked to wipe out the red brands because they're being naughty in the city of Phandalin. We bust into a cave and do so. There's a fella called Sildar. Now, Sildar is friends with Gundren, and he's a member of the Lord's Alliance. And he has a friend called Iano, and Iano's gone missing. He's come to Phandalin looking for him. What's he playing at? Where's he gone? It turns out that Iano is the head of the Red Brands, and going under the pseudonym of Glassstaff. This is terrible. Sorry.
It's all right.
So we chased him out of the cave. Various things died, including some of us. So now we had a chat to some villagers looking for Glassstaff. We need to find him. He's been chatting to a guy called the Black Spider, who runs Cragmaw Castle. Very naughty person indeed, or whatever he is. We believe that he is after the mine that Gundren and his brothers have possibly found.
The Lost
And
Mine of Vendilva.
That's the one. Insert title here. So anyway, we've headed to Thundertree because we heard that the guy called Radoff has headed there after talking to some of the villagers. Radoff knows the location of Cragmaw Castle. So off we popped to Thundertree. We got there. Watch out. There's plant monsters and zombies. None of which we came across some little plant monster things. Killed about 8 of them. Smashed them up.
We did encounter zombies as well in the tavern.
Oh yeah, there were zombies. I forgot about that. Yeah, zombies on the way there. There were some dusty little fuckers, weren't they? And the dust made us feel a bit oozy, bit like hay. It was like hay fever and asthma, all in one episode. So yeah, we've done that. Had a chat with Rudolph, who was disguised as a squirrel. He's absolutely mental. And now, for some reason, we trust him to lead us into the deep forest of Neverwinter to find the black spider. Why not?
Hasn't he written on our map?
He's done us a map, and Droop's right. Kind of our guide, isn't he?
Sorry, that was awful, but
that's pretty much it.
Rough gist.
That's the rough gist of it, absolutely, yeah. So we ended off last week where you just killed off some of these twig blights, and it will kind of look kind of like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. You just killed off a load of them, and then the squirrel comes out, and then poof, Rudolph appears before you as a human. He's a druid. He can change shape just the same as Pock can. And he tells you to bugger off, basically. He's like, this place is dangerous. Didn't you see my sign? What are you doing here? There's plant monsters and zombies. Go away. Hell madness. And then you say, oh, actually, we're looking for you. We were told by Quelling Alderleaf that you knew where everything was around here, and that if anybody could help us, you could. We need to find Cragmaw Castle to rescue our friend Gundren. And he is like, okay, if it means you're going to leave, then yeah, sure, because between you and me, there's a fucking dragon around here, and you're going to get it. And then I think we pretty much left last week with you guys going into his little hut to basically, I don't know, we decided because I think we worked out it was probably about midday, sort of early afternoon-ish by that point. So it's whether or not you wanted to kind of just be like scarpering straight away, or whether you were going to stay there for the rest of the night and rest up before you leave, or not. So basically what he did is so it's up to you guys.
What do you think, guys? Do you think we should
long rest would be nice?
Long rest or just bugger off?
We'll just rest so we get our stuff back.
How far have we got to travel?
Okay, so I haven't added it to your map, but he did scribble it on your map for you. So you are up in Thundertree, ping, and you need to travel to approximately. It's about there.
Okay, so we got to either travel through.
We went past it.
Yeah.
It's in the forest.
Can we travel to like sundown and camp?
Basically,
we could
travel to sundown and camp.
Sundown and then camp.
Or we could go to Helmshold and camp there.
Yeah. So I mean, Helmshold is only about 10 miles away. So it's not far at all. So you could. I think it's what you did on your way here. You slept over at Helmshold like last night. So you could head back there. So
what's going to make it so that we end up at the castle in daylight or nighttime? What do we actually want to do?
Yeah, I mean, you can plan that.
Well, that's what I mean.
So I think
we're better off getting closer to Cragmaw Castle before we camp.
What's our approach going to be when we get there? I think, Sean, you mentioned disguising as Red Brand.
Yeah, we've got our Red Brand cloaks. I think if we at least have them on first and foremost, so that if anyone does see us, we're not instantly attacked, or we're at least questioned.
Yeah,
definitely a good idea.
Save a few hit points.
So it's about.
But we want to slug it all the way through the forest from Thundertree. We don't really, do we?
No, but we can skirt the forest.
The forest is a really dark, magical, dangerous place. It's not inherently evil. It's kind of ambiguous, really. It doesn't care about good and evil. It's just leave me alone, kind of. It's got, people say it has a mind of its own, so it doesn't like intruders. So when people do kind of build up campments around it. It's always on the outskirts, like Thunder Tree, or like where Cragmaw Castle is. And of course, forests being forests, potentially when that was originally built, whatever it is, perhaps the forest wasn't actually quite there at that point. Maybe it's
grown out
over it. Yeah, you don't really know.
How far are we to that? Sorry, I don't know. You had the measurements up.
I did. So basically, it's about 2 days travel if you go directly. So you would want to, if you wanted to go to Helm's Hold first, you'd be looking sort of at kind of like that. So you're looking roughly at 2 days if you want to skirt the outside. You could, of course, try and go straight down to sort of like skirt the outside and then go
camp out somewhere.
I mean, it's still basically the same, but you could do that if you wanted to. If you, come on.
So sorry. Well, Cragmaw Hideout, is that where we all met?
It is. Yeah, Cragmaw Hideout is where you met originally. That was the cave full of goblins where you rescued Sildar originally.
Was it worth
going there and camping out there?
And then heading in from there? At least it's familiar territory.
It is. Bearing in mind that when you left it, you left some goblins still there.
We left goblins there, so there's a chance, they've reinforced.
Yeah. And just because, like, previously, basically, they bargained for their life to be left alone. But if they have got reinforcements, they might not be so willing to do so again.
What do you want to do? Helm's Hold for a long rest and then onward?
We're going to get a long rest out of wherever we stay.
Yeah, I think if we go down to the edge of the forest near to Cragmaw Castle and just sort of camp up.
Get there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
100%.
Just on the outskirts then.
So we'll take a day's travel on the edge of the forest, get as close as we can in a day, camp, and then head in. Get up in the morning.
That's fine. Okay, cool. So you do that. Now, to make everything a little bit more simple, make it a little bit more listener friendly. Episode 9 of the podcast, the infamous episode 9 of the podcast, dropped today about an hour ago, or just over an hour ago. It was for
-4 downloads.
Yeah, like for in terms of viewers' kind of enjoyment, it was not the greatest episode we've released because it was basically a bit shopping and then travelling and nothing else happened. So you know what? We're just going to fucking montage it. We don't need to do every day, and I don't need to roll for random encounters. We can just kind of skip over that. All right. So whatever way you go, it's fine. It is dangerous, but you know the way now. You know what to look out for. Maybe you don't camp quite so close to the forest, and you stay at maybe a bit more 5 or 10 miles away from the forest rather than skirting quite so close. The weather holds up. I mean, it has been a bit stormy the past couple of days up on your original travel, but it does look like it's starting to clear. There is, it's quite hot during the day, actually, in case you hadn't noticed. I'm kind of basically just copying what's happening in real life. So all of a sudden it's really hot. So it is a bit of a slog now with the weather. It's cleared up and it's hot, but you make it. It's a beautiful piece of land, rolling hills, the forest on the horizon at sort of 5-10 miles away. It looks peaceful and serene. And, considering you all are aware of the rumours and the stories about what happens in Neverwinter, it's hard to believe when you're this close to it because actually it looks quite nice. But other than that, the journey is very much uneventful. Okay, just to move things forward. Cool. So do you want to arrive there at the daytime? What kind of sort of time of day do you want to kind of try to arrive?
I think earlier the better, isn't it?
Yeah, so kind of in the morning.
If we're going into the forest,
yeah.
You guys reckon?
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, it might take us a bit of a while to find it as well.
Okay. Yes.
We're not trying to. If we were trying to like sneak in, maybe nighttime would be better. But if we're just going to walk up disguised as Red Brand and try and convince someone that we're supposed to be here, that's the question. Like, how are we actually going to?
I don't know, because I don't think that goblins and bugbears and stuff like that are just going to be our main problem. Because I remember. No. There was mention of spiders and other things like that.
Like, who's to say they're going to even let Red Brands in?
Yeah. I think Red Brands was really just while we're trying to find it.
Yeah, no,
if we've got the cloaks on, at least we've got
it's worth a punt,
an
for
excuse.
Sure.
Yeah,
and then I was thinking that once we find it, then wait until night to maybe try and sneak in. But at least locating it in the cloaks might be an easier task, providing we're not fighting monsters that have no idea what's happening.
Why don't we try and figure out while we're finding the castle, if there are any patrols and where they go.
Droop should be able to.
Yeah, Droop should be able to give us an idea of.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you we could find a patrol. We could stalk them out. Yeah. I know the kind of. It's easy to know when you know what you're looking for. You can spot goblins. Most people. Goblins step lightly. We're sneaky, you see. But if you know what you're looking for, we can find them definitely. So, what do you want me to do? Do you want to do an ambush? Do you want to find some tracks?
I think tracks. Yeah, tracks would be a good shout.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as least encounters as possible for now.
Yeah. The other thing to bear in mind as well, of course, is that you've got the wild shape ability as a druid. You could potentially turn into a squirrel and just run into the forest and scout it out and then come back. And then all you need to do is have a short rest and you'll be able to get that back.
What kind of creatures would I know more likely to be sort of not, if they were to see a giant spider, it'd be like, oh, that's fucking weird. But if they were to see a deer, is that more passable?
Absolutely. A deer, they might try and hunt a deer.
Not a deer.
A giant spider they might be a bit more wary of, but if they think that they were threatened, then potentially they might attack it or they might run away. It depends whether it's a hunting party. They might be more inclined to try and kill it or capture it to keep it as a pet. You just don't really know.
I've got a wolf on there, not a dire wolf, but a normal sized wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good.
Not likely to hunt that for food.
No.
Yeah, or attack it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, because it might be a pack.
Yeah. The advantage of that, of course, is that wolves have the advantage on perception checks that involve
stealth.
Your senses. So, like, if you were to turn into a wolf, you've met goblins before. You can have a sniff of Droop, and then use that to track him down. Make a couple of, take a couple of rolls. What we'll do is we'll do a couple of sorts of like perception or like survival tracking rolls to see how long does it take you to find it. Because if you wanted, like I said, you're aiming to get there early in the morning, but if it takes you longer to find it, that might become afternoon or it might become evening. As you're looking for it. But then even then, there's nothing to say, okay, now we found it, we're going to sleep and wait an extra day and go in the morning.
Oh, do you think we're likely to get a long rest in before we go too much further?
The short one.
The long rest is just every night. So you've had your long rest already, like at some point, because it's a 2-day trip. So when you're roughly halfway, you'll sleep up for the night. So you'll have your full hit points back, all of your spells back, everything like that, all your abilities. Okay. So, like I said, you can get to the outskirts, you can run in and scout around for an hour or so and then come back and take a short rest, just to get that shape change ability back. Or if it takes longer and it ends up getting to the point where actually we could,
we need to push on.
You need to push on.
Well,
it's up to you.
I'll do that to start with. If I come back and haven't found anything, I've got pass without a trace, which is concentration, so I can give that to everyone else and go back into wolf form.
I'll need it as well because I've got a disadvantage on stealth.
Yeah. Okay. The pass without a chase, it only lasts for a short
an hour.
Yeah. No, okay. So not a massive amount of time.
Yeah.
You could do that.
I think you and Droopy headed. Well, maybe you don't need him. I don't know, but get the lay of the land and then figure out if you can. Whereabouts the pass is, how far out we would need to start stealthing before.
Yeah. Droop, I'm going to heading as a wolf. Any kind of suggestions? What am I looking out for? What do you know? How can you help me here?
Well,
Droopy baby.
As I said already, us goblins, we're sneaky. We're very light-footed and we're very good at hiding. So when we hunt, we're quiet. We're like animals. We're like wolves. Yeah. So finding tracks, it could be difficult. But at the same time, if we don't know that we're being hunted, if we think we're the hunters, we're not going to be taking quite so much care. So footprints, if you find camps, then the certain types of food that you'll be looking for. We don't eat the same as you pale skins, so things like, well, kind of like you really, like given half an opportunity, kind of like man flesh and things like that, if you can find it, scraps, things like that, but otherwise same as anyone else really, Well,
I think Should I head in with him, or should we?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it worth taking Droop in with you?
You'd get a lot more ground covered on your own if you're going as a wolf.
Yeah,
It'll be slower with him.
I'll go in on my own, and he can at least keep an eye on everyone else.
Cool.
Just in case.
So nice and simple. Just make
Not that it's going to help you guys, but
make me a couple of perception checks with advantage, just to see if you can find a trail.
As me or as a wolf.
Well, if you're in wolf form and the wolf stats are better than yours, I mean, you need to be a wolf to get that advantage. So I'm assuming that. But yeah, you can choose to use yours or the wolf's, whatever is better.
It is exactly the same, and I get a +4 stealth as a wolf. So
roll with advantage.
So that's a natural 1. With advantage.
Yeah, so roll again.
Wait, that's a 9 + 3, so 12 for perception.
12. Okay, so you do scout around you, and you kind of how close at the moment are you want to get into the woods?
Let's go a few 100 meters or so.
And everybody else, are you staying sort of on the border in the woods, or are you staying like a few miles away?
Staying at the camp, I think.
Yeah, campsite.
Yeah, so where would you have made your campsite? I mean, you learnt your lesson camping a bit too close to the woods before when you got attacked by ghouls. So would you have stayed maybe 2 or 3 miles away, or would you be camping close to the woods?
As close as we can get, 2 or 3 miles is fine.
Yeah,
2 miles from the edge of the tree line.
So again, you can kind of see it a couple of miles away, looming, and Pock as a wolf runs off. To travel 2 miles in your wolf form, it only takes you a few minutes, really, 5-10 minutes maybe top. And you're sniffing around. You start sniffing around the edge of the woods, and you spend a long time. You know that your hour that you've got is you can start feeling that your normal form, your goblin form, you can feel the magic starting to wear off, and you've scouted around, and you go up and down the edge of the woods here, but you just can't find that any kind of real goblin scent, surprisingly. If you want to stick around for another hour, you can roll again.
Yeah, I'll if I have to, I'll burn another wild shape. Mm-hmm. Can I roll that again then? Advantage on perception?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's better. So 13, 16 for perception.
Brilliant. So you do one extra kind of turn. You sniff some different spots this time. You go maybe into some more bushes, and you get into a little bit closer, and suddenly you get this foul stench that is unmistakable. You've smelt it before. You've tasted it. You've tasted that bull sweat before. And you've got the scent. You start following it slowly now. You're moving. You're not racing, but you find it after about 30 minutes or so. You do find a large open space. So basically, you see a castle. Technically, it's not a castle. I had this in one of my old groups. It's a keep, because a castle is like all the out walls that go around it and everything. It's a keep, technically, if you're going to be pedantic. So the castle consists of 7 crumbling towers of different sizes and heights, but the upper stories are all in varying states of collapse. A short flight of steps leads up to a terrace in front of the main entryway. Past the wreckage of a pair of sundered doors lies a shadowed hall. Round towers loom over the entranceway, and there are dark arrow slits looking down on the terrace. You're still presumably in the woods looking at it. Did you want to kind of scout around it and have a look?
Yeah, I will. I'll head around the sort of perimeter and see if there's any. So I'm specifically looking for entrances and ways in.
So everybody else pretend that you can't see this. But so what can you see? This is a bit shit because of the vision sight. So it's daylight, so you can see all the way around it. You should actually be able to see up here. That should be the doors that we mentioned before. You probably wouldn't be able to see that far in because you're at the wood still. You should be able to see the shape of it. And you're skirting around. I don't know how far you can really see. So you can see around this top side. You walk around the north side. You can see all the walls and the towers. They're all crumbling down from the top. So you can't climb into it, but it's just like you can see that once upon a time there was an upper level which is all just fallen through and collapsed, and there's just piles and piles of rubble.
Yeah, cracking, lovely.
Right. So down this bottom half you can see there's a pathway that leads up to a set of steps here.
Yep.
When you were around, let me just take you back up. Right. So when you're around the north side, I would like you to roll me a perception check. I want to know. Can you? So this whole advantage thing for being a wolf. Can you tell me? Can you read it to me so I know exactly what it says?
Keen hearing and smell. The wolf has advantage on wisdom brackets perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. Sorry.
No, just be without advantage.
Okie doke. 16 plus 3, 19.
Lovely. I don't even need to look. Cool. So what you notice, basically here, quite cleverly, it doesn't look right to you as you're walking around and you're sniffing, you're eyeing the place up, and you're also bearing in mind that again this feeling, that you haven't got long. You can feel the magic. You've probably only got a few minutes left. It just doesn't look right, and you stare at it with those keen wolf eyes, and you suddenly notice that it flutters a little bit when in a slight breeze, and you realise that quite cleverly there's like a sheet, basically some canvas that's there, and as it moves, and then maybe you move up a little bit to look at it at a different angle, you can just see inside it, and you can see that actually it's been covered in brick dust and things like that, and it's very cleverly done. And it looks like that there's some kind of extra entrance around there as well.
Nice.
And I assume you're probably going to want to go back to everybody.
Yes, please.
Report.
Leg it.
And have a little rest.
Fantastic. So, with that in mind, they're a couple miles just outside the woods, and you're not very far in either. So, pelting it out there. Now you know the way. You don't need to walk slowly because you're not sniffing anymore. You can just run full pelt, and you just about get to the edge of the forest, 5 miles, which you can probably run in about 10 minutes. Before all of a sudden you're running along as this wolf all four, and then you're just hoping you can just get an extra 5 minutes when you just stumble and you fall over and do a roly-poly, and you're lying on your back as this short little no
bastard bollocks.
And you're going to have to walk the rest of the way because you've used both of your things. So to walk an extra couple of miles will take you probably about 20 minutes, half an hour.
Hello, guys. Oh, fucking hell, that's a long way.
Took your time.
So the good news is I've found the castle. You'll be pleased to know.
Hello.
Yeah, excellent. It's quite a derelict sort of place, but
your
couldn't quite
waddles up to you.
Oh, sorry.
Your duck waddles up to you from around the campfire. Pleased to see you. You've got a bit worried. You've been away for a couple of hours.
Doesn't a duck go into Pock when he's...
I think we've made the joke before, yeah, but it can't. His equipment can. It doesn't count as equipment. Unless you...
I've had to leave him there.
Yeah.
There was a few entrances. There's on the north side of the building, I have found a particular entrance that is looks like they've tried to hide it. Sounds like the way in for me. Other than that, there's some main doors on the east side of the building. For what I could see, looked like a few bedrooms and an entranceway and some beds. So I'm not sure that would be a particularly good way to go in, especially if there's anything residing inside that room. It's either the front door. Enemies? No, I couldn't see anyone in anyone or anything. Whether they're hidden beneath, it seems like the entrance on the north side would go down. Again, like the Red Brand Castle, where
it's like a terrace.
It kind of feels like maybe. Yeah, the good shits underneath. But there are bedrooms and things what I could see through certain windows on this top floor, but there's no front doors. It's quite a disheveled building. So it seemed that underneath would be the place where shit might go down, I think.
Sounds like a plan, guys. I'm just going to reboot. I'll be back in a minute.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Fuck, where did he go? How did he do that?
Burrs just kind of starts glitching as like pixelated, and he's just like starts walking
I took the red pill this morning.
And he's just like starts walking around in circles backwards.
like in Austin Powers.
Yeah.
A fembot.
Oh,
should we hold fire for a second while he's...
Yeah, absolutely, if you want to. Everyone seems to be in grace. We've got 13 viewers. Hello, everybody. We've got Troy Tempest has just joined as well. Hello, Troy Tempest. So, yeah.
Pock can have a short rest.
Lecky Macon says west. Yeah, never eat shredded wheat. So the main entrance on the west side, not on the east side.
West.
Yeah.
There's
West side.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, you guys, you wouldn't have seen it as I was moving Sean around, would you? Of course. So yeah, basically, he would tell you that. On the west side, there's some steps that go up to a platform where the main front door is. You can't see in there. As you go round it, there's lots of different towers. I think there's the keep is made up of about 7 different towers, and they're all odd shapes, all different sizes and heights. It's quite bizarre of architecture. The arrow sticks as you go around. I mean, you saw what was on the map, but you probably wouldn't have seen those beds because they're all above the ground, and you would have been lower down, so you wouldn't have really.
Okay, sorry, I was wondering about that. Yeah,
doesn't matter. Then you found on the north side there was this what looked like the fake door with the cloth hanging around. Nothing too much exciting from the east side at the back of the castle, and then down the south side there was it was walled off, so you couldn't quite see it. But I did move you a little bit round so you could. There's basically some steps that go up to something, but you would have had to have gone right up close to the castle to see where they lead. But they do go up, which you, I mean. You could have investigated. That
was where the path was going. Is that right on the south side?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
were running out of wolf spunk though, weren't you?
Basically,
it was getting a bit tasty.
Yeah. So let's.
But when we do go for that entrance, we better cast that stealth thing that you've got. Otherwise,
absolutely, yeah.
Clumsy.
Clanging around in your heavy.
Yeah, when you describe all of this and you said about how you think there might be a lower level, Droop's like, nah, not from what I remember. I've only been there once, but I never saw any lower level. But yeah, there's some barracks and there's a dinner hall. There's a shrine as well. Yeah, there's like some kind of temple in there. And there's
anything we can poison the soup with?
I don't think you do.
We could just at least piss in it.
Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look. The shrine. No.
But that's a shame, isn't it, that we haven't got any poison, because that would be handy.
Unless goblins are poisonous.
So Droop's like, yeah, there's a shrine in there to our god, human gods. Rubbish. We've just got one great powerful god. He provides all our food. Like the other gods exist already, but they're nothing in comparison to Maglubier. What a goblin D word that is. Maglubier or Maglubiet, maybe? I don't quite know the pronunciation. I'm just a crap goblin. Anyway, yeah, there's a shrine. Some bedrooms, a barracks. But yeah, I've personally was only there the once, came down from the crags, and then was sent down to Phandalin from there. But I did spend like a day there, but in the mess hall and in the sleeping quarters.
Would you be willing to fight against fellow goblins for us?
I, as I have said repeatedly, owe you a life debt and goblin's honour. And he stands up all tall, like 3 foot of him, and he's like, until that debt is repaid, I am by your side, unless it seems like it's like a really bad idea, in which case maybe I might run away. But, you can't blame a goblin for looking out for Umaro, really, can you?
Does that stretch to my team as well? Like, you're going to save their life and all if they get hurt.
I won't put myself in any unwanted danger, because that would just be stupid. But I will do whatever I can do to save your life if I can, because you saved my life. And once that debt is repaid, then maybe we can rebargain the deal.
You ain't getting your shoes.
No.
Oh, come on.
So we'll buy you a brand new pair.
Oh, these shiny ones.
Yeah, nice shiny pink ones.
With big bells on them.
Oh, bell shoes. I always want some bell shoes.
Yeah.
I can finally live out my childhood dreams as a member of the River Dance.
Lord of the Dance.
Lord of the Dance, yeah. Right.
Fair enough.
So presumably you're going to want to take a bit of a rest to catch your breath. You just spent 2 hours running around the wolf. So
his wolf form back.
Yeah. So you can do that, and then you head in. So it will take you a little bit longer. Now you're all moving on foot. So I think it was. I can't bother to swap bloody screens again, but I think it's like.
Yes, sure.
Probably you were a couple of miles away from the forest. It was about 5 miles in, so you're probably only about 10 miles away at tops. So you can do that. Walking through the forest, it's dense. There's vines everywhere. There's certain areas where you just can't go anywhere. And sometimes when you're walking around, like you think there's a pathway, and then you start going, and it's almost like everything just moves, and you get turned around. But luckily, Pock, you already know the way. So even though you're not a wolf anymore, you can still go, no, it's definitely this way. And you recognise certain trees. And eventually you make it after about an hour or two of walking. So
can I put my red cloak on?
Absolutely. You guys want to put your red cloaks on? That is absolutely fine. Cool. So you've got your red cloaks on. Do you guys, you're more interested in the top, aren't you? So you said you wanted to go to the top.
Should I
cast it?
Yeah, let's go for it. I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
That's fine.
On everybody, please.
Yeah.
That's a +10 to stealth checks,
Cool.
just so you know.
So if everybody could roll me a stealth check, please, as you're moving around the edge of the forest and trying to get in there. So you all get +10. Nice.
19 plus 10 plus 3. Well, there you go. I think I'm well stealthed, don't I?
You're a ghost.
Exactly.
28 as well.
Oh, what? 0.
0.
What?
Plus 10.
Well, so you roll a 1.
We're all ghosts. James is the big boulder from Indiana Jones.
Tell you what, you wait out here. We'll be back in a bit.
The problem with Scapes is he's just so enthusiastic about doling out that justice and collecting those gems. And he sees this big castle and he's like, there's no way that these people have paid their land toll tax at all. And he's just like waffling, and he just forgets himself. He's just too enthusiastic about the job, and it's a good thing because not many people thoroughly enjoy their work. So you rolled a 1, then you got a -1 plus 10.
10.
That is.
Is this an ability check?
Yes.
Can I add guidance as a cantrip?
Yes.
Roll a d4 and add that to it, James.
Thank you.
I'll just go up and it says I've got to do it with a touch, but I'm just going to slap him.
A 2.
12.
Okay, 12.
Something.
Let me just check what.
Consult your notes.
Yeah. Okay.
Pop turns around and goes, shh.
So you do. I should probably roll for Dobby as well. Dobby. For Droop. He basically is. And the reason I said that is I was just reading the chat, and they've in the chat they've already made that comparison as well. Lekimekon cried at the age of 33 watching that scene with Dobby, which I shall not spoil now, to ruin the kind of element of the game and everything in the suspension of disbelief in the game for a second. The book is so much better than the film, and also fuck J.K. Rowling. But the books are so much better. Like that scene, I watched the films first before I'd ever watched the Harry Potter films. Right, read the books. I watched the film, and I didn't get it. Everyone's all like, "Oh, poor Dobby," and I was like, "Why? He's in the film for about 2 fucking minutes out of all 7 films. Like, what the fuck?" But in the book, he's such a prominent character. After he gets freed, he moves into the school and he starts up a rebellion of all the house elves and everything, and he's working in the kitchen and getting paid by Dumbledore, and it's him that helps Harry Potter win the underwater competition, the Goblet of Fire. He gives him, so he's this really important character in the book. So when that bit happens, it is really, really sad, but in the films,
I've never guessed you're a Harry Potter fan based on the artwork behind your head.
Can you read that? Yeah, so I do.
Is that the missus, or is that you?
I've seen it every week,
So the artwork was actually done by my sister, Gav, Haley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she gave it to us.
Cool.
You know what? I should know this. It's just as when my wife doesn't listen to the podcast because I should know this. It was either a wedding present, a Christmas present, or an anniversary present. It was one of those. And it does.
They got married on Christmas Day.
So basically, it's for anybody who can't see it on the little screen or anyone at home, on the back wall behind me, it is the
Deathly Hallows symbol.
Deathly Hallows symbol, as the A, and then it says always, and it says after all this time, and it's a Deathly Hallows, and it says.
I'd imagine
always.
it's a wedding present, but
you know what? I really should fucking know, but
very nice. I would say that.
As long as Hayley doesn't watch your podcast.
I'm more worried about my wife, to be honest.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that our bedroom's upstairs and she always has a go for shouting, she's probably heard all of that anyway. She'll come down and tell me off in a minute. Anyway, so back to the game. So there we go. So Droop needs to roll. He gets the +10 as well, and he rolls a total of. He gets a total of 30. So like all of a sudden, like he's just shuffling around, and you don't even know where he is. And for a brief second, you're really paranoid that he's just disappeared, and it's gonna fucking sound the alarm or something. And then he just pops up next to you, that shit-eating grin that he's always got. It's like, hey.
Like fun.
So yeah, okay.
On you go then.
Now what? We're gonna go in. And he's all excited. It's like bloodlust in his eyes.
Yeah, looks like we're going in.
Scapes, are we sending him in first?
Who?
Because he's your little bitch. You're Droopy.
Droop, do you mind going in first?
Yeah. Sure. With a roll of 30, it's fine. Nothing's going to see me. We're good. So Droop scatters off in.
If he could go in and just if he could head in, you've got
and then kill everyone. That'd be great.
Can we ask him to have a quick scout around and just give us a thumbs up? You know,
if he can figure out where our first quandary is.
Come on, I'll tell him.
So basically, he runs in there, and he's gone for probably not long before he just comes back and he just peeks his head out of the curtain. And he's like, right, so basically, this is what there is in this room. There is, oh shit, where's it gone? Right. So basically, this tower has almost completely collapsed, although there's still a little bit of space, open space in here. There's loads of like rotting crates and ancient barrels that's like there may have been some provisions stored here once upon a time, but I had a quick sneaky look, but they're all empty, promise. And then there's a curtain just literally across, another curtain. I had a tiniest little sneak in there, but I didn't see anything in there. I didn't want to go in, but I couldn't see anything in there. And there's a door. I didn't want to go through the door, I'm afraid. But yeah.
Should we follow up?
You coming?
Should we move in?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's sneak in. Oh, I shit myself. And is that Droopy?
Yeah. That's Droopy.
Okay, God.
Roll initiative.
He took his head clean off.
Goblin, you killed him. What have you done?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, this is one of the towers that's crumbling away. There's a bit of floor space, but it's a quite cramped room once you're all in there. There are some barrels to the north wall. Through the canvas that you've come through is all just like crumbled with debris and stuff from the tower that's collapsed above. Then there is on sort of like the opposite that, so it would be the southwest, again all crumbling and stuff there, but next to that you can see some barrels and some crates and stuff like that, but you can see they are all empty and there's no signs that there's been anything in there recently either. They're just empty boxes. Directly to the south, so almost directly opposite the entranceway that you came in, is that curtain that Droop mentioned, and on the east there is a door. What would you do?
Someone needs to peek behind the curtain.
I'll have a peek.
Yeah, let's Wizard of Oz this.
I'll have a peek behind the curtain.
Yes, please.
Roll me another stealth if you're going to do it sneakily.
Yeah. Is Pass Without a Trace still up?
Lost an hour.
So that makes that 30.
Easy.
Nice.
What?
Okay, so you have a look.
I've just realised that. Yeah.
Go on, what have you realised?
Something.
What have you noticed?
No, I've not noticed anything. I've made a bit of a fuck up. Guidance is a concentration. Will you please let me cancel out James's guidance?
Yes.
Thank you.
What?
That's fine. You would have known that, and you would have known you would have to have lost the other one. So we'll just retcon that and say that you didn't give James the guidance on the stealth check. So we're back to James's initial 10. However, even with a 10, nothing seems to have taken any notice of you guys.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind.
Is he inside?
I'm in here, yeah. Well.
I think it's probably just underneath one of yours.
I'm behind Pock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe I'm underneath Millicent.
Yeah, there you go. Millicent has gone forward to peek behind this curtain. I did remove the thing, so you should be able to see what's in there. So basically, you can peek behind the curtain and you can see some more curtains. It looks like another little corridor. Can't see anything in there. Do you want to investigate? Feel free to move yourself through if you do.
I want to move in to that corridor.
Yeah.
Just literally one square. And just basically stay quiet for a second and see if I hear any voices.
Perception.
12.
Not anything really from where you're at. You can hear. So yeah, you can hear. So from behind the curtain, very very quietly, but it doesn't sound like it's directly behind that curtain, because basically behind that curtain is the same room, and if you'd be able to hear it, so it sounds almost like it's coming through a wall from somewhere.
Okay, so nothing in like the immediate vicinity.
Nothing in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, I can tell. So I'll go back to them and just let them know.
That's fine.
Basically way up ahead, maybe there's enemies, but nothing in the next room.
Can we put an ear to this other door? Yeah.
I'm putting an ear to the door.
Sorry, did you say there's a door in the other through the curtain?
I think I saw a door there. Yeah.
Yeah, on the
west side of that room.
west side.
West side.
I'm going to put an ear to the other door.
Well then.
Go on then.
Just literally in real life. Isn't this a weird game, isn't it? We all just describe exactly what we're doing as we're doing it. But what a few on jitters.
It's east. Never eat shredded wheat.
Never eat shredded wheat. East door. I'd like to just have a little listen, please.
Roll me a perception.
5 plus 3, 8.
You don't hear anything. It's you can't hear anything.
Can't hear anything through it, guys.
What sort of door is it?
Doors. It's a wooden door with reinforced iron banding. It's a standard door.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So general kind of, let's give you like a general kind of guide of what the general building looks like, which you can remember. So basically, ceilings are 15 feet high unless I tell you otherwise. Interior doors are made of wood, reinforced with iron bands. They have no locks or keyholes. All right. The floors are cracked and uneven flagstones conceal a dirt floor underneath. So that's through some of the cracks in the floor, you can see just dirt underneath. There is a small amount of natural light filters through arrow slits and things like that around the castle.